"Oh Mom, you're getting married." I was so shocked to hear over the phone that my 53-year-old mother was remarrying that I inadvertently threw the comic I was reading. "Yep," she said, laughing shyly. So it's true. Congratulations. We never talked about romance, so this news was more shocking than just being caught off guard. My mother was giggling like a young girl, saying, "Should I tell you about him?" But I quickly refused. The idea of hearing how my mom met this man was too much for me. I've been independent for over 20 years, so I told her to go ahead with a romance and was about to end the call when she said, "Actually, I've decided to retire when I get married. There's a vacancy. Why don't you work there?" She offered me a job at the cleaning company she was leaving, knowing I was unemployed. Taking over for my mom. It felt a bit embarrassing, but being shy and not great at socializing, I thought a job as a cleaner, where I could work quietly, might suit me. Well, I'll at least go for the interview. When I said that, my mom cheerfully laughed on the phone, saying, "Okay." She sounded so happy. My name is Sam. My father passed away from an illness when I was in middle school. Being shy, I was often bullied, but my dad was always there to comfort me. He loved collecting comics, even though they were all old-fashioned, but thanks to him, I became a total comic fan. When you're having a tough time in reality, escape to the world of stories. That advice, so typical of a comic fan, probably helped me get through the bullying. So, when he died, I didn't know how to face reality. The grief was too much, even being in the world of stories. But my mom raised me with cheer and encouragement, all by herself. She wasn't particularly beautiful, but she was sociable and well-liked for being meddlesome. Probably, someone fell for her inner qualities. I was surprised to learn she considered remarrying even past her 50s, and here I am, nearly 30, and still without a girlfriend. Reflecting on my situation, I felt a mix of resentment and admiration for her, but I genuinely wanted her to be happy and remarried. I used to work for a cosmetics company, but quit after 5 years due to excessive overtime and being unemployed. During this time, my mom introduced me to her cleaning job, and I went for an interview. It seemed easier than I thought. Easier because it didn't require much communication. It was simple physical work, of course requiring some interaction at first. But once you get the hang of it, a hello here and there is all you need. That's what I thought. Maybe cleaning was the right job for me. Half a year into this new job, I got a call from my mom. I hate to say this since I'm the one who recommended it, but the pay for cleaning isn't great, and I'm worried about your future. My darling suggested, "Why doesn't he work at our place? What do you think?" Not to brag, but my darling's pretty wealthy. Wow, Mom, marrying rich, and what's with darling? It sounds so weird. My mom replied, "Oh, it's just fine, dear," in a tone so of sick it felt like there were about 10 more heart emojis attached to her words. She had completely transformed from a mom to a lovesick girl. It's fine for her to be lovey-dovey, but keep that cutesy voice away from my ears. I felt like I was going through a second phase of teenage rebellion. "Stop by our place if you feel like it. He wants to meet you." Well, if I feel like it. I said so and hung up. In the end, I turned down the offer from my mom's darling. It's not that I dislike my mom's darling or anything. I was just embarrassed. They seemed to understand and are patiently waiting for me to show up. So, my refusal was more about not being confident in fitting into a regular company and enjoying the cleaning job my mom got me. However, Joe, the manager, working at the company in the building I clean, is my only source of concern. "Hey, Sam, didn't I tell you to finish today's work by 5 p.m.? I'm sorry, but it was dirtier than I thought, so I wanted to be thorough." Making excuses, just trying to score some overtime pay, right? Geez, there are too many sneaky people like you around these days. No, I was really just Like I'd believe someone with your education. What is this university? Ha, never even heard of it. Joe, the manager, doesn't seem to like me and always talks down to me. He probably looks down on me for being just a cleaner. Maybe he bullies me, someone at the bottom, to reaffirm his own superiority. And he's the worst kind of person, groveling and fawning over those he thinks can benefit him. It's because his shallowness is so transparent that I dislike him. But while I enjoy being a cleaner, I can't say I'm proud of it in public. I feel like my self-esteem is being chipped away little by little here. Sometimes, I think maybe Joe's approach to life, climbing up to manager, is the way to success, and it frustrates me. Yet, I feel I must criticize what Joe is doing in front of me now. Lately, he's been disgustingly fawning over a woman. Man, you are really cute, aren't you? Great figure, sharp eyes. I'm stuck listening to Joe's creepy voice talking about Emily, a woman who occasionally visits this building. Sure, she's strikingly beautiful. I get why Joe would be smitten, but it's clear Emily is not into his advances. Why don't we have dinner sometime? My treat. Dinner, I don't know. Emily was gently turning him down, but this sleazy manager wasn't backing off. His gaze and intentions were clearly dubious. This has been the scene every time Emily visits. While internally cursing Joe, I tried to just ignore whatever he said. I didn't want to lose my job and worry my mom again. But this time, I thought he went too far, so I blurted out, "Joe, actually, I wanted to ask about cleaning on the 4th floor." "What? You are still here? I'm not in the mood for." "Oh, are you discussing work? I wouldn't want to interrupt, so I'm leaving." Wait, Emily. It seems that Emily is a very perceptive woman. She quickly picked up on my assist and swiftly left the scene. In other words, she wanted to escape Joe's nearly harassing advances as soon as possible, which I wish Joe would realize, but he just glared at me like a jealous lover, saying, "Hey, low-educated Sam, you're messing things up. I won't let you off easy." Consequently, I faced even more pressure from Joe. Then, an incident happened. Oops. One day, I made a mistake of wet mopping where I should have dry mopped. As I hurriedly tried to wipe up the water, Joe unfortunately slipped there. Ouch. Hey, who's the incompetent fool did this? Suddenly yelled at by the boss, I froze. But I couldn't hide forever, so I stepped forward and he said, You're always a pain. Is this harassment? If you can clean properly, just quit," and kicked a bucket of water on me. The stares of the people in the building, the manager's shouts, the water on my body. I was close to panicking. Just when I thought I might be thrown out, a woman in a suit rushed over, saying, "What are you doing to my brother?" The woman was glaring sharply at Joe. I was surprised to see the woman. It was Emily. "Brother," I muttered in surprise. While wondering how such a delicate girl could be related to me, she said, "I'll report this to my father." Sam is Emily's brother, and what's this about a father? What's going on? Joe seemed to be shaken, perhaps more by Emily's uncharacteristic anger than anything else. "Despite being here so often, you weren't aware. Well, this is who I am." Saying this, she handed him a business card. Anderson Construction Company, President's Secretary. It appears that the business card bore the name of a major client company that do business with this company. Joe's face turned pale as he realized the shocking truth. "Mr. Anderson, Emily's father is, perhaps, as you guessed, my father is the president of Anderson Construction." He probably never dreamed that the woman he was trying to woo was the daughter of a prominent client. It seems he was in a different department and didn't know her name. "You've been quite persistent in your approaches. I'll be sure to bring this to attention." Perhaps Emily's words made him realize the potential loss of business. Or maybe his brain was overloaded with too much information. Either way, Joe fled the scene like a stray dog, without apologizing or explaining. As someone who's always had issues with Joe, I felt a sense of relief seeing him scamper away with his tail between his legs, but I was still puzzled why Emily called me brother. She then apologized to me. "Sorry for suddenly calling you brother." "No, it's fine, but maybe a long-lost sister or something." That was the only conclusion my mind could come to, but Emily chuckled and shook her head. "Actually, I'm your mother's new husband's daughter, so I'm your stepsister." Emily fidgeted with her hands, looking embarrassed. Before I could revel in her cuteness, I tried to make sense of the situation. So my mom married the president of Anderson Construction. To my question, my stepsister nodded emphatically. Mom had mentioned her darling was wealthy, but I had no idea she was marrying someone that influential. I recall now, my mom's new married name was Anderson. I probably should have realized sooner. And then I had to hear about my mom and her darling's romance, something I'd been awkwardly avoiding due to my adolescent-like embarrassment. Apparently, our cleaning company was in charge of Anderson Construction, and that's how my mom met the president, leading to their love story. Emily got along well with my mom, her stepmother, and they even went out for meals together. She had seen my picture from my mom and recognized me as the guy who helped her that day. "When I saw this picture, I realized you were the person who helped me that day. I wanted to thank you when we met today." Her innocent smile warmed my heart. The next day, I was called by CEO Johnson of the company in the building we clean. In his office was a crestfallen Joe, the manager. "Sam, I'm truly sorry. One of our employees has said some offensive things, and I failed to notice. I apologize." CEO Johnson was apologizing for what happened yesterday. He had heard everything from my mother's new husband, the president of Anderson Construction, and had been reprimanded. He had considered ending the business relationship but didn't want to trouble innocent employees. So, he explained that Mr. Anderson wanted me to decide Joe's fate. CEO Johnson said he'd listen to whatever I want to do with Joe. Me, decide his punishment. CEO Johnson said, that is, well, and gave me a knowing look, as if to say, I understand. I realized then. With my mom's remarriage, I had become the son of Anderson Construction Company's president, a significant title. The company didn't want to upset the important son of a major client. In just a few days, I had seemingly climbed to a position where I could dictate personnel decisions in this company. Thanks to CEO Johnson's consideration, I had Joe, my nemesis, at my mercy. "Sam, I'm really sorry. Please, please," Joe begged me. His actions were smooth and unhesitating. As soon as he realized I was the son of the CEO, this is how he treated me. At first, I looked at the dejected Joe and thought it was just desserts. But for some reason, I saw my past self, who couldn't do anything when bullied, in him. It reminded me of what my dad used to say when I was bullied. Getting back at someone mean won't make anything better, but returning kindness will surely improve things. So, Sam, be a kind person like your mom. That's how I was raised. I don't wish for Joe's termination. I just want him to stop looking down on others. A person's value isn't determined by education or upbringing. Even so, I like my life the way it is. The last part felt like something I was saying to myself, someone who couldn't fully take pride in being a cleaner. That's right, I haven't done anything to be ashamed of. It was like I was telling myself that, as much as I was telling Joe. My words seemed to hit home, and Joe apologized to me repeatedly. Later, I met with my mom, her new husband CEO Anderson, and his daughter. Emily asked me, "Would you like to have dinner with us?" I want to talk with my brother. How could I refuse such a request with her pleading eyes? So, I had my first meeting with the CEO. "I've been wanting to meet you, Sam." CEO Anderson greeted me warmly, holding my hand with a sincerity that didn't feel like a stranger. I felt an instant connection, thinking this man could indeed be family. There were times I felt uneasy about my mom choosing a wealthy man, but her judgment must be sound. During dinner, CEO Anderson praised me for helping Emily and for my magnanimous decision regarding Joe, saying he was proud. His genuine words of praise gave me confidence. I'm grateful to my late father for teaching me valuable lessons and hope for the happiness of my new father and my mom, who raised me single-handedly.